Hello viewers, my name is Nancy and this is my daughter
Tracy.
We are here again to try and say a few words about salvation, and this will be salvation part 3. And what today we have decided to do, we decided to deviate a little from just explaining what salvation is, because we have already explained, but we want to look at things that can make you drift away from the word that you received, which was supposed to help you. Today, Tracy is going to take us through the book of
Matthew chapter 13 verse 3 to 9, and
let's go.
and this is and this is about the parable of the sower that Jesus was telling the crowd. And so we have like 4 parts of this parable of the sower. There was 4 different cases, and so we have first the rocky ground. The rocky ground can represent the sins that you have committed, that you have not asked for forgiveness to God or even to others you have wronged. So the sins, when, let's say for example, you're going on Sunday is where mainly you get the word of God from the pastor, and you get encouragement, you get filled up with the word inside of you, that when you're going throughout the week, you have something that you're hanging on through Monday through Saturday. And so here in the rocky ground, when you have received the word on Sunday, but you still have sins that you committed and did not ask God for forgiveness or even others you wronged, it will mainly...
Can I interrupt you, Tracy? Now, these sins, are they the sins that you committed before you're saved or after you're saved?
It can be mainly both, after and before, because once you come to God, you also have to ask for forgiveness for the past sins you committed, and also once you're saved, you should also ask for forgiveness for the sins you have committed once you have been saved. And so these things can mainly, because it's a rocky ground and the rocks mainly cover the fertile soil down. So once the word of God that you are given by the preacher, the seed, once you've been given, you won't be able to penetrate through and get to the fertile soil in order for this word to be able to grow, to even reach to others, to be able to minister to you through the week. So the sun ends up scorching away the seed, which is the word of God. So any other sin that you commit or the sins that you had just move away the seed and dies, so the word of God does not penetrate inside of you in the manner that it was supposed to. And then second, we have the thorny bushes, and these thorny bushes can be the people you surround yourself with, because in the parable it was talking about how the thorny bushes were surrounding the seed and taking up the fertile soil that the seed was supposed to go inside and grow into. And so these thorny bushes can be through either the movies you watch, through channels that you watch, through people you surround yourself with, through the media, through what you watch, through social media, through the things you post. These things are things that if you post bad things or you watch bad movies, these things end up eating up the fertile soil and making the word of God not able to minister to you in the inside. So so you're supposed to surround yourself with people who fill you inside the spirit through movies that actually encourage you, because we have like Christian movies that we can watch. They really elaborate things that happen in the world and how to take them up. Then horror movies, things that scare you, things that just put you in fear, things that even make you sing yourself. So that's the thorny bushes, and we're going to go to the ground. That's the road, the seed that was put beside the road. And this seed that was put beside the road happened to have been taken by a bird.
Can I ask you a question, Tracy?
Yeah.
Now, like you, a young person, you just got saved today, you still have to go back to school.
Yes.
How do you balance the friends and your salvation? Because mostly young people really find a challenge balancing the friends and salvation. Can you help anybody out there who doesn't know what to do?
So like the people they surrounding themselves with.
Yes, you in school, you really have to go back to school, you have friends. How do you opt out of the bad relationships for you to grow?
So first and foremost is realizing who your friends are, what are their motives, what are the things that define them. Because many you find the things that they define themselves with is listening to secular music, watching bad stuff, just coming with an attitude of bad. They bring negativity in you, and so you don't want to be part of that negativity. So for me, I'll best say is first remove yourself from those kind of friends. Like just like I don't know how to put it, but don't be their friends anymore. That's what I can say. And then go to God, pray to Him, and say, Lord, I have removed these people from my friendship now, and I want you, God, you have the best of friends who can come in my life and actually bring positivity, heal my heart. For example, like once I came here in the United States, I did not have any friends and I was going to school, so I told my mom that we should pray that God come and give me a friend who will be a friend who will come and bring in positivity, who believes in God, who is in one spirit with God, like, because I'm a Christian, I want also another Christian like me who will be in the same spirit, that talking the things of God won't be an issue, because this is what we find ourselves in, joining ourselves with friends who are not Christians, and now starting to talk about the things of God. You find you're so like pushed in that you can't talk about it because you think, what will they think about me? So you want someone who will be a Christian like you, that when you have a new thing to say, you can say it immediately without even thinking, without even having a thought about it. So for me and for my mom and I, we prayed and God gave me a Christian friend. Her name is Raisa. And so every time I have something, I will share with her and she will ask me questions. One time we even tried and talking to someone about the things of God, that we joined up together and talking about the things of God, and it became so enjoyable. And so for me, I'll say pray to God, because God has the best friends who can come in and bring positivity, and you can even be joined into one and even start a ministry together to even preach to your school and preach to some of the people there, so it won't be a problem.
Exactly. And I think true, God gave you a friend, and I just to add a little word on top of that, that's why you find peer pressure when you're a young person and you are again in the company of people who are not saved. Peer pressure is so rampant that even the people who are not saved, they find themselves in real trouble because of the pressure. So when you're saved, it becomes even worse. Therefore, you have to know yourself and pray.
Yes.
That's why prayer life and knowing who and what decision you have made is so important, because you have a direction.